Let's talk a little bit about your team because you mentioned your LOA. Talk about the structure of your team and how you work with your team to do the kind of volume you're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. I have had an LOA since 2022. I got one in the middle of 22 is when I got one as things were progressing and building. Just had one LOA, and then the way my company's structured, we have a processor and an underwriter. Actually, back then those would mix a little. You generally have the same ones, but it would mix as we grew and grew. And I've gotten my consistent production. I've now have my I actually have two processors now that do my team. So we have two processors. I have one underwriter for every deal, which is super convenient because we all know how each other works. And then I have two LOAs. So my first LOA is Camden. She is more of the true sales side. So she's helping with only front end stuff. So apps coming in, I'll review them. But if something comes in, she might get the file cleaned up, and then I'll make that initial call,
Okay.
something like that. She also helps with marketing, keeping up with numbers as far as which realtors have sent me this, who do I need to reach out to, who have we not gotten a deal from in a few months that sent us 30 last year, what's going on? Is it because they don't like us anymore? Or is it because they're slow? Right. She's all that side. She is not, as soon as the file is active, she has no idea what's going on. She's never in the file one time. She's only on front end marketing, things like that. And then Brandy is the newest hire, and she's a rock star. She's been in LOA for 20 years, I think. Um, could be an underwriter, could be a processor, could be a loan officer. I mean, she's got that it factor, and she's been huge. She takes over the file when it's active, so she has no idea what's going on with pre-approvals. She does nothing with pre-approvals, nothing with sales, nothing with marketing. She takes over the file. We send it in once we get the contract active. She's going to get it cleaned up before it goes to the processor. She will reach out to the borrower at that point if there's anything needed or updated, like a new bank statement, something like that. And she's trying to get that file ready for underwriting before it even goes to the processor. So she gets that super clean, gets it to the processor. They do their processing things with title, whatever's left, and then goes to the underwriter. And then Brandy helps manage the active pipeline for me. So she has calls once a week with the processor, helping in, what's needed on these files that are active. She's taking that role of making sure everything's online and on time. And then I step in, obviously, if there's ever a major issue with an
Yeah.
active file, or they can't get a document from someone and they've asked 3 times or something like that.
So,
So that's the main structure that we have.
so two things you said in there that I thought were critically important. One was you said that you initiate every one of those calls with the borrowers, which I love because you're the guy. The mistake I see a lot of times that loan originators will make is they'll go work with the realtors, tell them, hey, I want you to work with me. I want your business. I want to help you. And then when they refer a customer in, guess what? They don't even get that person. They get somebody else. And then there's a letdown for the realtor. They're not getting the person they thought they were going to get. I love the fact that you initiate those conversations. But then you talked about specialization, which I preach all the time. And that is each one of your people have a completely different and defined role that complements each other. They're not overlapping. They're not getting in each other's way. They're not reviewing things that have already been done that somebody else did that creates duplication of effort. That's the way a system should be built for efficiency so that you've got a process in place where everybody knows what it is they're supposed to do. They do it and they move the file up to the next level. That's the way a process should work. And clearly, based on the numbers you're doing, those things are happening.